If you like our content, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get alerts when we introduce new videos.
What we're going to cover today is the Soter Technologies vape and sound sensor, how to install this plug-in in the IoT controller. We're also going to talk about configuring the device on the Soter Technologies cloud, onboarding it into our IoT Insights Node-RED platform on our IoT controller, and also testing it. So just a quick overview of the Ruckus IoT network. Basically what we do is we have two networks. We have a Wi-Fi based network, and that's shown in orange here, and we have our IoT network shown in blue. So if you look at the bottom of this slide, what we're showing is the ability to connect various IoT devices, whether they be door sensors, door locks, light bulbs, BLE devices. The access points have either built-in radios, or you could add the capability by adding an i100 module to the access point. So the access points are managed by Ruckus Virtual Smart Zone, and our IoT devices are managed by a IoT controller. And what's unique about the case that we're talking about today is we've actually opened up the Ruckus IoT controller API to third-party vendors such as Soter. So their device is cloud-based, but we have the ability to connect their device to our IoT controller. So if you've already connected Zigbee-based devices to our IoT controller, this is a little different. As I mentioned, first thing we're going to be doing is installing a plug-in into the IoT controller, and there's some configuration information that we'll be doing on the IoT controller. And then the next step is actually configuring the Soter vape sound sensor in the flysense cloud. And there's some additional settings that we need to configure there, such that we could link both the sensor together with our IoT controller. Okay, so I'm going to log into the IoT controller as the dashboard. You can see I've just got 3 access points onboarded onto the dashboard. And under IoT devices, I've got some standard Zigbee sensors, a few door sensors, water sensor, and a motion sensor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the admin menu and plugins, and I'm going to install the Soter plugin. I'm selecting that, activating that, and then there's some things that you have to type in. One is the Soter URL. It's an Amazon Web Services URL. And then the port number, and finally the key. And I'm just using sequential numbers 1 to 9. Activate that, and it takes a while, and it is the plugin is now installed. Go back to the dashboard, our IoT device. It hasn't been onboarded yet because we need to move on to the next step now, which is to onboard it onto the Soter Sensors Cloud, and that's where we're at now. This is the Soter Cloud dashboard. I've got a couple of vape sensors already, so I'm going to add this one. I'm just going to call it my Vape 01, and then I'm going to look at the MAC address on the label on the back of the device and type that in and save that. So it's onto the cloud now, but it's not quite ready. So what we have to do now is edit that device. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the IP address in of the IoT controller and the key and the port number, and we're going to save that. So that's going to take a while, and went back to the IoT controller now under IoT devices. You can see it hasn't quite onboarded onto the IoT controller. It takes a little bit of time. So here we are again, and it is there. You can see it has onboarded. There it is. It's another device on our IoT controller now. So now what we can do is onboard it onto our IoT Insights platform, our dashboard. So you can see it's come in. The dashboard has recognized it as a new device. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to configure it into our system. So I'm going to add a new device now into the Node-RED rules. I'm going to select the device on the bottom there, manufacturer is Soter. And I've created a location called lab, and this is the preview for cameras. If you have a camera in here, and it is a vape sensor, I'm also going to check the sound checkbox because it does that as well. And I'm going to onboard that now. So the next step that we're going to be doing is actually testing it. So I'm just going to clap my hands. You can see there it is. And so I'm going to generate a sound event by clapping my hands. And a event has come in now. You can see on the left-hand side there it went red. It's in our table. It's in the database. So it is completely working.